Hello everyone, welcome to another session of Electrical Machines 1 subject for triple second year students. Last class I said about the characteristics of separately excited and shunt excited DC generators. So today's class we will be seeing about the characteristics of series generator and compound generator. So basically we are finding out three characteristics. First one is open circuit characteristics. Second is load characteristics. Under load characteristics, there are two types, that is internal and external characteristics. Open circuit characteristics, we are plotting between no load voltage, that is, this is a curve showing the relation between the generated EMF at no load, that is E naught, and field current IF at constant speed. So we are plotting a graph between E naught and IF at constant speed. This open circuit characteristics is also called as magnetization or no load saturation curve or magnetic characteristics, we can say. Okay. So open circuit characteristics for all types of generator, whether it is separately, series, shunt or compound, it is same. So already we have seen this also. And internal characteristics or total characteristics is the curve which shows the relation between generated EMF on load and armature current. And EMF will be less than E naught because of effect of armature reaction. So what is armature reaction? That also we have seen. So there will be two fluxes inside the machine. One is the main flux which is produced by the main poles, and there will be armature flux which is produced by the armature winding. So armature flux will distort and weaken the main flux, and so this distortion and field weakening will take place in both generators and motors. So action of armature flux on main flux is called as armature reaction. And what are the problems of armature reaction? There are two problems associated with armature reaction. That is, first one will be armature reaction will decrease the main flux by some amount like 10%, and this will cause the generated EMF in the generator to fall with the increase in the load current. Second one will be brushes will be shifted from its neutral zone. That is, there will be distortion of flux and neutral zone will be shifted. So to ensure good commutation, brushes must be placed in neutral zone. But because of distortion of the flux, neutral zone will be shifted. And if the load varies frequently, the shifting of the brush position will be not practical. Now, so when we see the external characteristics, it is a curve which is showing the relation between terminal voltage and load current IL. Terminal voltage will be less than E due to voltage drop in the armature circuit, and this curve, that is external characteristic curve, will be below the internal characteristic curve. So same thing will be there for all the types of generators. Okay. So let us see the OCC characteristics or open circuit characteristics or magnetic or no load characteristics of a separately excited generator. So in this figure we can see the variation of generated EMF on no load with respect to field current, and for different speeds. We are seeing this for different speeds. On x-axis we are taking field current, y-axis E naught, no load voltage, and this is the open circuit characteristic curve for separately excited generator at different speeds. So increase in the speed. N3 is greater than N2, N2 is greater than N1. So for higher value of constant speed, steepness of the curve will be more. When the field current is 0, for the because of residual magnetism in the poles, there will be small initial EMF OA. So because of that, open circuit characteristic will not start from the origin or from O, it is starting from point A. So let us consider a separately excited DC generator which is having its no load voltage E naught for a constant field current. There will be no armature reaction and armature voltage drop in the machine. Then voltage will remain constant. Okay. Voltage will be constant if there is no armature reaction and no armature voltage drop. But there will be armature reaction and voltage drop will be present inside the machine. So we are plotting a graph between rated voltage on y-axis and load current on x-axis. Then curve will be a straight line and parallel to x-axis, like this. So AB is showing now the open circuit characteristics. IL versus no load current we are taking. AC is showing the internal characteristics. AD is showing the external characteristics. So AB is indicating the no load voltage E naught. When the generator is loaded, then the voltage drop will be due to the two main reasons. First reason is due to armature reaction. Second reason is due to the ohmic drop IaRa. See this ohmic drop will change according to the type of generator. In case of separately excited, it is IaRa. So internal characteristics of separately excited generator will be obtained by subtracting the drops due to armature reaction from no load voltage. And internal characteristics will be actually generated voltage will be slightly drooping here in internal characteristics, and in the diagram AC line is showing the actual generated voltage EG with respect to load current. So in total internal characteristic of separately excited generator, as we have seen in the here. This is internal characteristics. AC is showing the internal characteristics, and AC is below AB because of armature reaction drop. So external characteristics of separately excited generator will be obtained by subtracting drops due to ohmic loss in the armature from generated voltage EG. That is, V will be equal to EG minus IaRa. Like that, we will get the external characteristics. So this curve is showing the relation between terminal voltage and load current. External characteristics will lie below internal characteristics because of ohmic voltage drop. So AD is the line which is showing the external characteristics. So AD line in the diagram is below, indicating the change in terminal voltage with increasing load current. So we can see from the figure that whenever load current increases, terminal voltage will decrease slightly, and this decrease in terminal voltage can be maintained easily by increasing the field current and thus increasing the generated voltage. So we will get a constant terminal voltage at the time. Then we have seen the characteristics of shunt wound DC generator. In shunt wound DC generator, field windings will be connected in parallel with the armature winding, and in this type of generators, armature current will divide into two parts, that is IA will be equal to IL plus ISH. Okay. IA is nothing but armature current, IL is the load current, ISH is the shunt field current. So one part is the shunt field current which is flowing through the shunt field winding, other part is the load current which is flowing through the external load. So armature current will be addition of shunt field winding current and load current, as you can see it in the diagram. So this is the shunt field parallel with the armature winding, and IA is the armature current which is getting divided into ISH and IL. So IA is equal to ISH plus IL in shunt wound generator. And this is the magnetization characteristic curve of a shunt wound generator, and this curve is drawn between shunt field current ISH and no load current E0, no load voltage E0. So for a given excitation current or field current, EMF generated at no load E0 will vary in proportional with the rotational speed of the armature. So in the diagram we can see magnetic characteristic for various speeds. Okay, field current versus no load voltage, we are plotting a graph, and for different speeds we are drawing the open circuit characteristics of shunt wound generator. So because of residual magnetism, the curve will start from the point A, which is slightly up from the origin O. So as stated earlier in the open circuit characteristics of separately excited generator, we have seen there also curve was not starting from O, it was starting from A because of residual magnetism. Okay, so upper portions of the curves are bent due to saturation, and external load resistance of machine will need to be maintained greater than its critical value, otherwise machine will not excite or it will not run if it is already moving. Okay, so there should be some critical voltage, voltage or some resistance should be maintained so that the machine will excite. Okay, AB, AC and AD are the slopes which will give critical resistances at speeds N1, N2 and N3. N1 is greater than N2, N2 is greater than N3. So this is the critical load resistance is the minimum external load resistance which is required to excite the shunt wound generator. Now when we see the internal characteristics, it is showing a relation between generated voltage EG and load current IL. So when the generator is loaded, then generated voltage will be decreased due to armature reaction. So generated voltage should be less than the EMF generated at no load. So in this figure, AD curve is showing the no load voltage curve and AB is showing the internal characteristic curve. So AD is showing the no load curve, AB is showing internal characteristic, AC is showing the external characteristics. So AB is below AD because of armature reaction drop. So generated voltage versus load current for internal characteristics we are plotting, and this curve AB is below AD because of armature reaction drop. Now let us see the external characteristics. AC curve is showing the external characteristics of shunt wound DC generators, and it is showing the variation of terminal voltage with load current. So as load current increases, we can see the terminal voltage is decreasing and slightly it is coming back. The curve is coming back. and this curve is lying below the internal characteristic curve. That is, external characteristic curve is lying below the internal characteristic curve because of ohmic drop. So V is equal to Eg minus IaRa. From this equation, we can write Eg minus IL plus ISH into Ra. And terminal voltage can always be maintained constant by adjusting the load terminal. So when the load resistance of shunt wound DC generator is decreased, then load current of generator will be increased. But load current can be increased to a certain limit only, that is up to a point C, and decrease of load resistance. So beyond this point, the characteristics will be reversed. Okay. So only certain limit up to point C only the load current can increase. Okay, as seen in the diagram. Here we can see load current is increasing till this point C only. After saturation point or breakdown point, it is getting reversed. Reversal in the characteristics. So any decrease of load resistance will result in current reduction, and consequently the external characteristic curve will turn back. As we have seen in the figure, it is shown by dotted line, and ultimately the terminal voltage will become 0. So though there is some voltage due to residual magnetism, now the terminal voltage will be equal to Eg minus ISH plus IL into Ra. So when IL is increased, then terminal voltage will be decreased. After certain limit, due to heavy load current and increased ohmic drop, terminal voltage will reduce drastically. This drastic reduction of terminal voltage across the load will result the drop in the load current, although at the time load is high or load resistance is low. That is why load resistance of the machine must be maintained properly. The point in which the machine gives maximum output current is called as breakdown point, which is given by point C in the picture. Now let us start to today's topic. Today's class I am going to tell about the characteristics of series wound generator and characteristics of compound generator. So this is the series wound generator, where we can see series armature winding is in series with the field winding, and all the currents are same because they are connected in series. IA is the armature current, ISC is the series field current, IL is the load current. All these three currents are equal. So in this type of generators, field windings, armature windings and external circuit all are connected in series. Armature winding, field winding and external load, all three are connected in series. So same current will flow through armature winding, field winding and the load. Let I is equal to IA is equal to ISC is equal to IL. IA is the armature current here, ISC is the series field current, IL is the load current. There are generally three most important characteristics of series wound DC generator which show the relation between various quantities such as series field current or excitation current, generated voltage, terminal voltage and load current. So important characteristics of series wound generator which is showing the relation between these quantities: field current, generated voltage, terminal voltage and load current. So the magnetic or open circuit characteristic curve is showing the relation between no load voltage and field excitation current, and during no load terminals will be open circuited and there will be no field current in the field, since armature, field and load are series connected, and these three will make a closed loop of the circuit. Okay, these three, as we have seen in the diagram, all these three are connected in series and they are forming a closed loop. When there is no load, the load terminals will be open circuited and there will be no field current in the field. So for the current to flow, there should be a closed circuit. If there is no load applied, then no current will be flowing. So this curve can be obtained practically by separating the field winding and exciting winding of the DC generator by an external source. So in the diagram, we can see AB curve is showing the magnetic characteristics of series wound DC generator. AB is showing the magnetizing characteristics, OC is showing the internal characteristics, OD is showing the external characteristics. Again same, internal characteristics is lying below the magnetic characteristics because of armature reaction drop. External characteristics, that is OD is lying OD is lying below OC because of drop due to armature and field resistances. Okay, x-axis we are taking the current. Whether you take any current IL, ISC or I, it is all same because they are connected in series. Y-axis we are taking for magnetization characteristics, EG, E naught, sorry, E naught, for OC EV and for OD EG. So there in the diagram, AB curve is showing the magnetic characteristics of series wound DC generator. The linearity of the curve will continue till the saturation of the poles. Okay, so curve will be linear until the poles are getting saturated, as we can see in the diagram. After that, there will be no further significant change of terminal voltage of DC generator for increasing the field current. So the curve will be linear until the saturation of the poles will occur, and after that there will be no further significant change of terminal voltage of the DC generator for increasing field current. Next, due to residual magnetism, there will be a small initial voltage across the armature. That is why curve started from point A, which is a little way away, way up to the origin O. So same thing for separately we have seen, for shunt generator we have seen. Now for series also we are seeing here. What is that? Now because of residual magnetism, what is residual magnetism, students? So residual magnetism is a term which is used because in self-excited generators, the excitation is taken from the generator itself, right? Now, from where this excitation is coming without we are connecting any external source, already inside the DC machine, some amount of flux will be there, because that flux is called as residual flux, and this entire thing is called as residual magnetism. So small amount of flux will produce small amount of current, small amount of voltage will be produced. So it will gather speed. As the speed increases, this will also increase, voltage will increase, flux will increase. So machine will be working, started, machine will get started. That is called as residual magnetism. Now, because of this residual magnetism, there will be small initial voltage across the armature. That is why the curve will be starting from the point A and not from point O. And this point A is a little bit away from the point O origin. Yes, this is that point A. Here it is shown here, but actually it is here. So away from origin, at some point A, OCC is getting started. I hope this point is clear. Now let us see the internal characteristics. Internal characteristic curve will give the relation between voltage generated in armature and the load current. Okay, EG versus IL. EG versus IL. So this curve is obtained by subtracting the drop due to demagnetizing effect of armature reaction from no load voltage. So the actual generated voltage EG will be less than the no load voltage. That is why this curve is slightly dropping from the open circuit characteristic curve. Okay. So internal characteristic curve is lying below the open circuit characteristic curve because of this armature reaction drop. Okay. OC is lying below AB because of armature reaction drop. So generated voltage EG will be less than no load voltage E0, and that is why curve is slightly dropping from open circuit characteristic curve. So in the diagram, below OC curve is showing the internal characteristic or total characteristic of the series wound DC generator. So internal characteristic curve will give the relation between voltage generated in armature and the load current. Now let us see the external characteristic curve. External characteristic curve will show the variation of terminal voltage V with the load current IL. Terminal voltage of this type of generator is obtained by subtracting the ohmic drop due to armature resistance and series field resistance RSC from the actually generated voltage. So in the form of equation we can write like this. Terminal voltage will be equal to EG minus I into RA plus RSC. So what is this? V is the terminal voltage and EG is the EMF generated in the generator. IARA is the drop in the armature. IARSC is the drop in the series field winding. So when we subtract these two things, then we will get the terminal voltage. Okay. So same thing is written here in the form of a sentence. Terminal voltage of this type of generator is obtained by subtracting the ohmic drop due to armature resistance and series field resistance. That is this one. Ohmic drop is this one. I into RA plus RSC we are subtracting from the actually generated voltage EG. Okay. EG minus this ohmic drop is giving us the terminal voltage. So we are plotting a curve between terminal voltage and IL to plot the external characteristic curve. So external characteristic curve will lie below the internal characteristic curve because the value of terminal voltage is less than the generated voltage. Okay. So external characteristic will lie below internal characteristics because the value of terminal voltage is less than the generated voltage or because of drop due to armature and field resistances. So OD in the diagram, OD curve is showing the external characteristic curve of a series wound DC generator. AB is showing the OCC characteristics or magnetic or magnetization characteristics. OC is showing the internal characteristics. OD is showing the external characteristics. Internal characteristics is lying below open circuit characteristics because of armature reaction drop. External characteristics is lying below the internal characteristic because of drop due to armature and field resistances. Okay. Magnetic characteristics we are plotting between IL and no load voltage. Internal we are plotting between IL and EG. External we are plotting between IL and V, terminal voltage. Okay. So we can observe from the characteristics of series wound DC generator that whenever the load is increased, so load current also will increase. So load increases, load current increases, and terminal voltage of the machine will also increase. So load increases, load current increases, terminal voltage also increases. But after reaching some maximum value, it will start to decrease because of excessive demagnetizing effect of armature reaction. So after reaching a point D, okay. So what is happening? Instead of increasing, it is getting decreased. So this phenomena is shown in the figure with the help of a dotted line. The dotted portion of the characteristics will give approximately constant current irrespective of the external load resistance. So as in the case of shunt generator also we have seen, after reaching some certain point, the curve is getting reversed. So same thing is happening here also. So after reaching some saturation point D, and because of the excessive demagnetizing effect of armature reaction, the after reaching maximum value, it will decrease. Current will decrease. Okay. And this is shown by a dotted line. So this is because if load is increased, field current is increased, and as the field is series connected with load, and similarly if the load is increased, armature current will be increased, as armature is also series connected with the load. So because both are series connected, field winding and armature winding, load increases, current increases. Okay. Uh, Load increases, current increases, and also this field current increases. But due to saturation, there will be no further significant raise of magnetic field strength. Hence, any further increase in the induced voltage will decrease the current. But due to increased armature current, effect of armature reaction will increase significantly, which will cause the significant fall in load voltage. Okay. So, what is happening here? Load increases, current is also increasing, whether it is armature current or field current, whatever it may be. But and the effect of armature reaction will also increases significantly, which will cause significant fall in load voltage. Current increasing, but voltage is getting drop. So if voltage falls, load current is also decreased proportionally. Okay. So load voltage is decreasing, then load current will also decrease proportionally, since current is proportional to voltage as per Ohm's law. Voltage and current are proportional to each other. So voltage is decreasing, falling, then current is also decreasing proportionally according to Ohm's law. So increasing load tends to increase the load current but decrease the load voltage, and it will tend to decrease the load current. So this point is clear, everyone. What is happening? As the load is getting increased, load current is increased, but voltage is getting decreased. Because of that, load current is getting decreased. So due to these two simultaneous effects, there will be no significant change in load current in dotted portion of external characteristics of series wound DC generator. That is why DC generator is called as constant current DC generator. So it is getting neutralized. So there will be no change in the value of the current or voltage. So it is a constant current DC generator. DC generator is also called as constant current DC generator because there are two simultaneous effects. That is, once we can see that there will be increase in load, as voltage is getting decreased, load current is getting decreased. So increase and decrease of current. So what is happening? Current is becoming constant. Because of these two simultaneous effects, there will be no significant change in load current in dotted portion of external characteristic of series wound DC generator. That is why series DC generator is called as constant current DC generator. Now let us see for compound generator. Characteristics of DC compound generator. A compound generator or compound wound generator is a combination of both series and shunt wound generator. One winding is connected in series and other winding is connected in parallel with the armature winding. So as we have seen earlier, there will be two types of compound generators. One is differential and other one is cumulative. So shunt generator can be made to supply a constant voltage by connecting a few turns in series with the armature terminals, and this arrangement is known as compound generator. So there are two types of connections for connecting a series and shunt winding in compound generator. So when the ISH and ISC is the shunt current and the series field winding current, when both are adding each other and the fluxes due to them are adding each other, then it is called as cumulative compound generator. And if the currents of shunt field winding and the series field winding are opposing and their fluxes are also opposing, then it is called as differential compound generator. So if the connection is such a way that flux produced by both series and shunt windings, phi SC and phi SH are both in same direction, then connection is said to be cumulative compound. And if the connection is such a way that both the fluxes phi SC and phi SH are which are produced are opposite to each other, then it is called as differential compound generator. So in the figure we can see the connection diagram of differential and cumulative compound generators. In a compound generator, whenever load IL increases, current in the series also increases, which in turn will produce more flux and hence more EMF will be generated. So load current increases, series current also increases. So EMF generated will be more. But due to increase in armature current IA, there will be an increase in voltage drop due to armature resistance and armature reaction. So this is the external characteristics of a DC compound generator. AB, AC and AD are showing the over compound characteristics, flat compound and under compound characteristics. And dotted line in green color, here we can see this is showing a no load voltage. So we are plotting a curve between IL and terminal voltage. Then there will be three characteristics here: over compound, flat compound and under compound characteristics. So if the series field turns are such as to produce EMF equal to drop due to armature resistance and armature reaction, then the generator is called as flat compounded or level compounded. Okay, over compounded, flat compounded, under compounded. Flat means what? As IL increases, voltage is remaining constant. Okay, if the series field turns are such that to produce EMF equal to drop due to armature resistance and an armature reaction, then generator is called as flat compounded or level compounded generator. Okay, IL increases but voltage is remaining almost constant, that is flat compounded generator. If the series field turns produce EMF more or less than the drop due to armature resistance and reaction, then generator is called as over compounded and under compounded respectively. Over means what? If the series field turns produce EMF more than drop, and under compounded means if the series field turns produce EMF less than the drop due to armature reaction and resistance. Okay, that is as current increases, IL increases, voltage decreases, then it is under compounded. As current increases, voltage is also increasing, then it is over compounded. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. So these are the characteristics of DC compound generator. So I thank you everyone. These are the characteristics of all types of DC generators we have seen in this class: separately excited generator, shunt excited generator, series excited generator and compound generators. So I hope today's class is clear to everyone. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, students. Watch the video from start till the end and comment your roll numbers in the comment section, or write your roll number in the comment section. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me. And make notes of all these things, whichever I am telling in the online classes. Make a note of all these things. You have to produce it whenever we are asking you. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching the video. So everyone write your roll numbers in the comment section and watch the video from start till the end. and draw all the characteristics of all types of generators in the books. Okay, these are very important for internal and external point of view. Next class I'll be starting the next unit. Okay students, thank you everyone.